Hey, good morning. I just wanted to stop in and just say hello. It's been a little while since I made a video, and I wanted to kind of reflect on a lot of the different things that have happened with the weather. Um, as some of you know, I'm in Florida, so we do have different times where we have a hurricane that comes through. We're so grateful to not have been impacted like the devastation that happened with this Hurricane Dorian through Bahamas. And before I say anything, I want to mention that there's nothing like having everything that you own, all the things that you have built on being completely torn apart and not really having much left over. So my heart just goes out to the Bahamas and all the multiple family that are there trying to figure out what in the world do we do now. So, and instead of just me saying, okay, my heart goes out to it, because a lot of times we say that and we really want to, well, I mean what I say when I say it, but there's so many different things that can be done outside of or in addition to having your heart going out to a devastation like this. So I really hope that those who hear this will go ahead and reach out to reputable resources and help where you can for the Bahamas, because I can't even imagine anything like that happening. Taking a moment to just think about everything you have and then losing it by something that is a natural cause, something that happened with the weather. I mean, there's nothing we can do as human beings for the weather but prepare as best as possible. So I just wanted to take a moment and say that first today, and I just want to talk a little bit about connections. Connections. What do I mean about connections? Connections, and not just as it relates to, getting a job or, going to volunteer somewhere, but connections meaning your energies. I got to say that I'm very grateful for a few of the very special connections I have and friends. This is a word that lots of people use, just this is my friend, there's my friend, things like that. But until I understood the importance of me being a friend and really giving an appreciation to someone that has decided to share their time with me, their space with me, their very confidential things about them with me, I had to really get to a point to where I understood that that is a huge thing. There's lots of people who will come in and out of your life, but all of them aren't meant to be a friend. Some people are just in our lives so that we can look at our lives a different way, so that we can learn something, so that we can get a different perspective. So connections, to me, a connection is someone or something that can bring a peace in your life. I can say that I have a dear friend that I was connected to, and one of the things that I remember when I realized that there was this profound connection is that this was someone that I can go to and sit and not say anything and feel a peace about the presence of that person in my life. This is also someone that I could go into a deep prayer with. And to me, praying is like believing that there's a power greater than myself that will listen very, very, very carefully to what my thoughts are, that will listen to what words I'm speaking, and will really be compassionate towards the words that I speak. And this connection that I had with my friend, who's passed on now, but she she was someone that I could not compare with anyone else. It was a relationship that taught me about me, a relationship that taught me about some of the dark places that I had in myself, that I could, possibly look at and say, okay, maybe that's not a good place to be. She was someone that had this beautiful sense of living every day as if it was the last. You know, there's nothing like someone who can live their lives in such a way that it honors the space that you share with them, as well as honoring their own individuality. And that, to me, is a profound connection. Some connections I've made over the years have been just for a moment, just to get me through a dark place. You know, I've had connections to where they've talked to me and helped me to connect with other people or organizations that I relate to. I've had connections that have left me feeling a bit heavy in spirit also. The connections that, that when I first connected with them, I began to feel like, oh, okay, this is a great thing. They're so bubbly, so lively. And then later found out that they weren't necessarily connecting with me for mutual benefits. And what those particular connections did for me was it taught me about being a little cautious and of who I connect with and what I share with those individuals. I don't believe I take connections that didn't last or that weren't the most positive. I don't take it at this point in my life as a negative. I actually take it as something that taught me, as experience that taught me to be very diligent about whom I let in my circle. And I say that oftentimes because my circle is very important. It's very important to my peace. And being at this point in my life, peace is more important to me, I believe, than anything else. So connecting to the right people, places, things, it is an amazing experience. But I believe that connecting for me has more to do with choices I make than the actual connection. What do I mean by that? If I want to live my life a certain way of honor and dignity, then I'm cautious about where I go. I'm cautious about the type of conversations I have. Cautious about how much time I spend with social media, how much time I spend in areas that may not necessarily go with the path that I'm choosing in my life. So I encourage you to take some time and just kind of look at the connections in your life, and how you make connections, and not focusing on a connection in terms of like, okay, I'm not going to go be with this one, or I'm not going to be with that one, but rather focus on, what am I doing? What do I want in my life? What path am I choosing for my life? And then begin to look at who you are around, who you spend the most of your time with, and what you spend the most of your time doing. And I believe that can kind of help you to look from the inside and then on the outside. May not make much sense to you now, but little by little, just tiny things can really alter the way you live your life, especially in terms of positive. I mean, it could go the other way as well, but being more conscientious of who and what you do, I think it can enlighten your life. So, and that's what it's all about, really taking every moment you have, because it is my belief that all we have is the moment we're in. To think past that is kind of premature, so to speak. So we look at each moment that we have, that we're in, and kind of just, um, take a moment to evaluate the connections that we've already made, and then think about the connection we want to make. We do have a life that it's individual to ourselves, regardless of who we connect to, but we are also influenced by our connection. So I encourage you to, take a moment and think about how we connect, how you connect, how I connect. And I encourage you to also remember that you have a shining light inside of you. And in order to honor that light, it's very important to take some time and reflect in order to continue shining. So enjoy your day, enjoy your right now, and I pray that you are able to get to a place of peace that that you can appreciate. So remember, shine your life now.